The impact of COVID 19.2 on the Indian economy is going to be quite detrimental to the interests of India, both fiscally and monetarily. As the COVID curve rises, and we saw that the threshold of 200,000 was beaten on 15th of April, a loss of 2 lakh crores is anticipated for the Indian economy. The supply chain disruption as the breach of more and more COVID patients reports come in is severe. Maharashtra, which contributes 15% of the GDP of India, is on a semi-shutdown norm. About 10 states have serious restrictions on consumer movements. So both on the supply side and on the aggregate demand, which will fall, the economy is in a very deleterious state, and that concerns all of us. There is a return of the equilibrium of the fear, and the fear element creates its own ghosts, which are more fearsome than fear itself. So you have got U3, unpredictability, the instability, and the non-availability of jobs, unpredictability of what will happen tomorrow, instability of the economy overall, the systemic instability that comes in, and the non-availability of jobs. Altogether, this is going to stall India's growth. India already had a negative growth last year with 23% in the first quarter, and then just when it was, and 7.5% on an average, just when it was about picking up January this year, we have the second 19.2 COVID version 2 coming in, and there you have got 3/4 of the growth rate of India, which is actually trying to build on the deceleration that took place previously, or the degrowth that took place previously. That 3/4 of the growth rate will be shaved off. Migrant workers have already started returning home, and this will affect both costs and labor input availability. Small businesses who are large employers of these unorganized workers are likely to be affected most. And those 80% of India's jobs are in these small businesses. So unemployment is going to spiral. Transportation logistics will be affected. Drivers will be reluctant to go on long term. And then the trains are already hit. So you are going to see transportation logistics that would result in shortages of items. So there is going to be a shortage syndrome. Let's also brace for more mental health problems, both in the economic sector and also among the youth particularly. In the youth, there is a certain Stockholm syndrome. The young are used to being at home, the freedom of being away from classrooms. And that has brought in a certain Stockholm syndrome where they like to be away from classrooms. This is affecting students who are without partners, playgrounds, and any popular sports. That's likely to bring in more mental health problems. So students are going into silos. Even individual office goers are going into silos, and therefore there will have to be mental health support systems given, just like we have COVID vaccinations, and that's something which we have to reckon with. Banks are going to be affected very negatively. 80% of the new infections are in states which account for 45% of bank loans. Already, according to the Reserve Bank, non-performing assets of banks would flare up, go up to 13.5% by September 2020. This was their estimate in the stability report, financial stability report. Now, with the second variant coming in, the version 19.2 coming in, this percentage of non-performing assets and the stressed assets together is likely to go up. The sectors, apart from banking, apart from the financial sector, those which are most likely to be affected are tourism, connected sectors like auto rickshaw drivers, like taxi drivers, transport systems, aviation industry, education industry, which is already at home virtually. Because those who have returned on campuses will have to now go back with the second wave coming in so strongly. So online blended education is going to be replaced largely by online education. So the pedagogic shifts are going to affect the education industry. Then you have the logistics issues, which we discussed, the transport, the warehousing, the fear element. And then overall, the micro and small and medium industry, which really are the largest segment in India with 80% of the jobs coming from them, are going to be put back into a deceleration mode. Is there some global help coming? Doesn't look like, because Europe is in recession, China is yet to pick up, and the world economy is losing momentum with the return. Some countries in Africa are going to be seriously affected because India will has stopped being an exporter of vaccines, but will now be the world's biggest importer of vaccines, and that is going to change the game a little bit in favor of the advanced economies who have the wherewithal, and is going to be against the economies who don't have the wherewithal of vaccines or technology to beat the virus. That is so globally, it is a destabilizing moment. Finally, I'm going back to theory, where you are looking at Krumbolz, who spoke of the happy stance learning theory. And he said that if there is a challenge, an unplanned event that takes place, we should try to capture that event and try to make the best of that event, to turn it into an opportunity. What cannot be stopped has to be endured. Perhaps we may have to turn it around to our advantage. How could we do that? We could do that becoming more online addicted positively, becoming more creators of value online. And that is perhaps the answer to the big wheel of 19.2 that's coming, of which we should be very much cautious. Is going to hit the economy, going to hit each one of us in some element, some totally, some partially, but each one will get hit in some manner. Thank you.